Welcome back, Seahawks fans, to the newest episode of the Seahawks Nest podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Sano, joined as always by the Kirk Herbstreit to my Stephen A. Smith. It's Eric Ronnebeck. Eric, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm somewhat liked and somewhat handsome.
You got a cool dog, but people were mad when you replaced your dog with just another dog that looked exactly the same. They didn't like that.
That's a man in pain, I'll tell you that.
Okay, and our very own Pat McAfee. That's right. It's Brett Hancock. Brett, how you doing?
I don't even know. I was going to say...
These are the three biggest personalities in ESPN, okay?
White, angry, but nothing like Pat.
But
nothing.
Filthy rich.
Yeah. It's
speaking,
in spirit.
Speaking of ESPN, the Seahawks have started to announce some uniform combinations, and one of them will be Week 13 Monday Night Football versus the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be wearing the throwbacks. Week 7 Sunday Night Football versus the Chiefs will be wearing the throwbacks. Week 6 against the Broncos on Thursday Night Football, it will be throwbacks versus throwbacks.
That's going to be so beautiful.
And then so that'll be orange versus blue, which is going to be pretty crazy. And then Christmas Day, Rams will be wearing rivalries again, which
okay.
I don't know. How have the rivalry jerseys aged with you guys? Let's start with that. Brett, how has the rivalry jersey aged for you?
They're fine. I mean, didn't we wear them once against the Rams last year at home? That was pretty sweet.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not like crazy about them or anything, but I think that they're if every team's gonna have one, we did all right on the first go. Like we didn't, especially for being the first teams to get them. We didn't get burnt tortilla like the Arizona Cardinals.
I just wish they would go all the way. Just make like 8 different jerseys, like soccer. Like, why do we only get one, special jersey?
One jersey, 2 helmets.
I don't know.
You can't have too many things. All right, and then Eric, what do you think about this throwback versus throwback? I gotta know your opinion on this.
I mean, you know how I feel about the glorious, beautiful uniforms of the NFL, and I don't know. Like everyone is like, the throwback should be our constant, uniform. It's go back to the old silver helmets. No. As much as I love that, I was so glad to see it go because some sportscaster put it correctly when we got those new helmets. Even though the blue was kind of weird, they changed the Seahawk logo just enough because it was no longer like that boring totem logo. This is a Seahawk that was sick of getting its ass kicked, and I don't know. I don't want to go into something I can't prove, but we made those changes and the franchise made a completely different turn. So
sure.
I love them in as just a visitation.
Are you listening, Mariners? It's time for a drastic change.
Bring back the trident on everything.
Drastic change, Mariners. Go ahead and move to Portland.
Yeah.
See ya.
I'll be honest, if they want to do a straight across trade for the Blazers this point, I'm so hurt. My feelings are so hurt by the Mariners. It's insane. I just
Me as well.
I'm constantly feeling sad about it. And another thing too is I had a realization the other day that I'm I'm watching more Cubs games at home because I don't want my son to be a Mariners fan. And I asked him the other day, I was like, which team do you like better, the Mariners or the Cubs? Because in my house, because of Ron Santo, who's my great uncle, I root for both teams. And my son was like, I like the Mariners a little bit more. And I was like, I got to work harder. But then today when we were watching the game and the players were batting, every player who came up, he'd be like saying their names and clapping when we were watching the Cubs game. And I was like, oh, do you want me to flick it over to the Mariners? And he was like, no, it's okay. Because the Cubs were winning.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I'd like to see more than 3 hits.
God. So yeah, it was pretty tough. Anyway, speaking of ownership of teams, new Seahawks owner Vinod Khosla is terminally online. He posts a lot because he's a VC guy, and that's posting on Twitter is a VC guy's favorite thing to do. No shame in that. He's 71, so I find it quite endearing, actually, in a way. But someone posted and added him and just said, hey, the grass looks beautiful in Lumen Field. Can we get grass full time in the stadium? And he replied which is insane to me. A 71-year-old NFL team owner replying to just a random dude's tweet. What a world. But
so cool. So cool.
But he said, I'm going to defer to the experts who are in here winning championships. Not those exact words, but something real close to that. And I said, all right, this is my guy. I like it. I dig it. He understands that they're the experts. And I kind of appreciate that. I do think the grass field thing is a more complex issue than people are making it out to be. Playing a soccer game with 5'8", 140-pound athletes on the field once a week is very different than doing a concert and then turning it over so 300-pound dudes can push each other over on a field. It's just a totally different ball game. And so for people to be like, oh, well, you did it for soccer. It's like, yeah, Lionel Messi is like 1/3 the size of Leonard Williams. And I'm not even like exaggerating.
No, right.
He's literally 1/3 the size of Leonard Williams. It's just a totally different dude. So yes, would it be nice if every field was outfitted for grass? Yes, I do think that would be probably a positive, but it's a lot more than just saying put grass on the field. There's so much more to it than that, and the stadium needs to be built for it. It's not going to be a situation where we can have an open air stadium in the Pacific Northwest in November and have it be good to go every week for these guys to go out there. I want people to understand like that, and that's why it's not happening. It's not happening because the team hates the players or they don't care about the players. Yeah. That's not it. If they thought it would give us a competitive advantage, if they thought players would get hurt less, they would have done it yesterday.
Yes.
Trust me. They want to protect these players as much as anyone else because the players on the field is what wins them the game. So that's all I got to say.
I got 3 things. One, don't we have some kind of hybrid turf that's not as bad as some of the other ones?
So basically what people say right now is that the main difference between grass and field turf, which is what we have, which is better than the traditional AstroTurf they had back in the 80s and 90s or whatever. The turf that we have now, it has a higher incidence of like ligament injuries, and then grass has a higher incidence of other types of injuries that are less career threatening. So this is why the Players Association wants grass, because the types of injuries you get in grass, although the amount of games missed is probably going to be very similar, it's just a different class of injuries that aren't going to threaten dudes' ligaments as much. So it's understandable.
Can I question the data on that though? Because that data isn't going back to the 80s, and if it is, I don't see how it can. It's a different era. So many teams are playing on turf nowadays, field turf. What's the number of people on like grass? So you've got Washington, which is, are we cussing on this podcast still? No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Doo-doo turf in Washington.
So Eric, 15 play on grass and 17 play on turf. So it's like,
name the grass teams, Brett. Go. We'll stay here. We'll be here.
I'm not doing that. All I know
Pittsburgh,
is
Las Vegas,
Arizona, Tucson, Arizona.
At the dog park one time in my one-horse town, I met the person at the turf management company that had the Lumen Field contract, and she seemed like a straight shooter. So that's my only opinion about the turf at Lumen Field.
Well, disconnect. Get out there and meet her again. Get her on the show. Sorry, Nathan.
Thankfully, I do not have a dog anymore that requires me going to the dog park. The worst place on the planet.
Now that we've got Zencaster Pro and we can vibecast like we want to, maybe.
Live from the Ording Dog Park.
Maybe we can actually get some better guests in here, and I won't feel so
think it's a little, I don't know. I'm not going to say
you had 3 points, and we only had 1. What's sort of that?
Yeah. Well, my second one was about the dog park, and then the third one was that I don't care, but I think it's a little uncouth when like we're kind of riding some pretty good like injury situations, and we just won the Super Bowl, and the players are just like, "Oh yeah, we need grass." I'm like, "Yes, but I don't know, it's fine."
When they do that player survey too, and it's like surfaces, and then every team that has grass gets an A, and then every team that has turf gets an F. That's only the great. That's like a pass fail. That's it.
Yeah,
yeah, it is kind of weird.
It's okay.
Eric, you got any last thoughts before we move on to next topic?
No, I just, like you said, remember in Arizona, they play with real grass. They also have 2 different fields that they wheel out in the sun and wheel into the shade and fertilize a certain way because they're in Arizona.
That's a lot of effort for the Arizona Cardinals.
That's what I'm saying, goes, that's Arizona, and we are I mean, I remember being a season ticket holder and it didn't rain. It only rained like one time in the
Correct.
first 7 seasons, and
Yep.
now it rains every year.
Every
And
time.
I would encourage everyone to watch a video of like the Real Madrid Bernabeu, that stadium, what they do to have real grass in that stadium. And then even then, people still say that stadium, like they're like, oh, there's rumors that this stadium is dangerous because there's not as much depth of dirt, because of the way the stadium is built. So it's like there's so much more going on, and we just need to do our homework. And honestly, maybe we are close to a stadium refresh. I don't know. The stadium now is as old as the kingdom when we started to talk about tearing it down. So it's
We're
crazy.
still
to think
intact at Quest Field.
Yeah, that's right.
Arguably.
It didn't suck from the first year that they built it, so I think we're good.
All right, here we go. Class of 27 Hall of Fame. Okay, these are some players that are eligible. So we got Gronk, Roethlisberger, Adrian Peterson, Richard Sherman, Cam Newton, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, Andrew Whitworth, Alex Mack, Gerald McCoy, Eric Weddle. Obviously, the name that matters to us the most is Richard Sherman. Eric, is Richard Sherman going to get in on the first ballot? What do you think?
I think he will. I think he will because of all the personalities there. And there are a lot of personalities on that list. You've got Gronk, you've got Cam Newton, you've got Richard Sherman. I just feel like they're going to want to put him in maybe next to Gronk, if only for it'll look nice. There are other names on that list that I would be worried about if I was their fan base. How's that?
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot. Like, personality is such a big tiebreaker for the Hall of Fame because it is, more than just football.
And
like
Sherman has crafted this media personality now, which I feel like if you asked me 5 years ago, I'd be like, no, he rubbed everyone the wrong way. But now he seems to be trying to cultivate like this kind of more jovial, friendly media personality that gets along with the other guys. And he's on there with Whitworth, who's also eligible here. I'll say this. Darrelle Revis got in on the first try. I would be surprised if Sherman didn't. I think those guys were kind of linked together. Revis went in 2023, and they both played a similar amount of time. They were always linked together as the number one. Who's number one, Sherman or Revis? It was always, Revis is on an island. He has to play man. Sherman plays zone, but Sherman was part of the better defense. He has the better accomplishments, which I think will balance out that whole zone versus man debate. Because I do think if they had literally equal accomplishments, I think that maybe Sherman doesn't go in on the first try because the zone defense thing. I think people hold that against him a little bit, but because Revis, his accomplishments were so much less, I think that kind of is going to push Sherm in on the first ballot. I think Sherm gets in on the first ballot here. I think Peterson does. I think Gronk does. Yep. The rest of these guys, I don't know. Whitworth had a long career as a very good left tackle. Ben obviously won two Super Bowls. I don't think Newton.
I think he's in. I think
on the first try though.
I think Whitworth gets in on the first try. You're underestimating.
I thought you meant Ben.
No. I'm sorry, I went Whitworth.
Whitworth, I agree because also same thing. Jovial media personality. Now everybody loves him. He's going to be able to get the votes.
The championships.
The opposite problem Antonio Brown's going to be having, which is kind of BS because Antonio Brown, of these guys, his accomplishments might be the most insane. He had a stretch run there where like Antonio Brown is these seasons he put together are going to be like what people are going to look back at it, like dorks like me when they're 14, they're going to go to the Football Reference page and of Antonio Brown and they're going to be like, what? How did this happen? How did this guy go 1499, 1698, 1834, 1284, 1533 right in a row, all 10 touchdowns in basically every season?
They're going to do the same thing with Terrell Owens. Yeah.
4 straight all pros. And then they're going to be like, this guy didn't go in on the first try. And you're going to have to be like, well, just like T.O. Exactly right, Eric. Just like T.O. He wasn't really.
I don't want to. It's not funny. It's not good to make fun of this.
Was a popular guy.
Can you imagine his speech? I could do a podcast on that. Oh man, I'd pay a lot.
Can you imagine can you imagine how first ballot he'd be if he just like acted like JSN? Like if he was just like a nice dude or whatever.
Yeah, please. He would have eclipsed Larry Fitzgerald, and as a Cardinals hater,
Larry Fitzgerald
number one Cardinals hater, you know how much I love Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh yeah,
if you don't play for 10 years,
he's
you gotta be one. If you don't play for 10 years, You got to be one of the best players in football for 5, and then you can't be nuts. So
Dude,
Antonio Brown fails
like
2 of those, unfortunately.
Like Larry Fitzgerald is a great example of this. Larry Fitzgerald went in on the first try. How many All Pro teams do you think Larry Fitzgerald made?
1.
He made one first team and 2 second. One first team and 2 second teams.
Okay, I can tell you right now it's because he had Carson Palmer Kurt Warner is his quarterback.
Disrespectful because Super Bowl champion Kurt Warner. Anyway,
I corrected myself. Thank you, Jesus.
AB made four straight All Pro first teams. It's a high, the highest high of ever. It is kind of weird that he's not going to go on the first try just because he rightfully so is a psychopath.
Are they still doing? Right. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Let's get into training camp talk.
Other guys.
A lot of this is just Hard Knocks stuff, but also just things we're just reading around. You know, the camp has been feisty this year. We've had a couple camp fights. It's been fun to kind of monitor and watch. I want to give one overall Hard Knocks thought before thing, which is that the schedule they put this show out on is really impressive to me as a guy who teaches broadcasting in a middle school. But like they are showing stuff, and I'm like, this happened like a day or two ago. Like these editors get this stuff in the room, and they are going to work. And it's pretty impressive how well they build a show around stuff that they are really. It's really tight schedules. I'm like, dang, this happened July 31st. It's August 3rd. It's like I can't believe this is happening. So pretty cool stuff. Some big storylines that I think that are happening on the show that I do think cross over to what's happening in real life. First is this Terrion Arnold thing. So Terrion Arnold, first round cornerback, plays for the Detroit Lions. He has been accused of kind of doing a OJ Simpson where someone stole stuff from him and his friend. He actually didn't go. Okay, we're going to get into the details here and the nitty gritty a little bit, but basically someone tried to rob them back or something, and it turned out it might not have been the right people, but also those people were part of the reason they were telling on Terrion Arnold was it was part of a plea deal, and there's no evidence that Terrion Arnold was actually involved. The whole thing has gotten real muddy really fast, and his first court deposition went extremely well if you are a person who thinks Terrion Arnold is innocent. Let's just say that. In the episode of Hard Knocks that aired today, I watched it already. They showed Terrion Arnold working out for the team. He was in the facilities working out. They showed John Schneider talking about him. They had a conversation between Schneider talking to Mike McDonald saying that, Jalen Milroe talked to Terrion. He said he's a great guy. He's ready to go. Let's get him and his family up here so he can get his head right. Also, going into the draft, Terrion Arnold was thought of as a really high character guy, a guy who you could rely on. I'm just going to say this. I trust the team to do their homework and figure out what they want to do. He will come in on a very cheap contract. It'll be a 1-year prove-it deal because he'll want to get paid if he plays really well and gets exonerated. He is allowed to work based on while the legal proceedings are happening. So we're not going to have to worry about can he play right away? And last thing, it would be the most Lions thing possible for them to cut a guy that is their only good cornerback. And he hasn't even been that good so far in the NFL. He's been pretty average, but he's their only decent cornerback. Okay. And he's definitely the only guy who has potential for growth because he's 23 years old. He's the only guy on their team that you could be like, oh, that I point to that guy. That guy's going to be an awesome cornerback, could be an awesome cornerback. And they just cut him, and then it turns out he was innocent. That is the most Detroit Lions thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's why I was laughing as you were talking about it, because all I could think of was them sitting in their office in Detroit. It's somehow gray and 90 degrees in August in Detroit, and they're like, oh, no. Oh, no, he did it. No. This is good. No, this is Lions. God damn it. Lions football. No, we got it.
Yeah. It's just funny. So yeah, like I said, I trust the team. It seems like it's just us versus the Saints. So I don't know if that's a comfortability thing. Terrion Arnold went to Alabama. I'm not sure what area of the country he's from. If he's from he's from Tallahassee, Florida. So
boom.
So
college expert. Well, Kevin's gone. That's me.
Maybe he wants to be closer to home, and New Orleans sounds good. Seattle might be good if option for the opposite reason, right? It's the best defense in the league, and it's far away from all of his problems. so
Wow,
that just something to think about. I will say this: it does kind of speak to how the cornerback thing has developed in the absence of Tariq Woolen. We kind of thought, okay, we were looking for someone to step up into that role. Is it going to be, a Josh Jobe? Is it going to be Julian Neal, who hasn't hit the field yet? Nehemiah Pritchett, these 7th round picks, Fuller Dansby. Right now, it looks like none of those guys have stepped up and really shown out, and so that is why they're looking. They're looking because this is a position of need. All right, Derek Hall has been the star of the Bella de Ball, the star of the show. Or is Derek Hall's truck the star of the show?
It'll be easy to catch him on the freeway.
Oh my gosh, dude. It is the biggest, it's so dumb. I'm like, what are we doing here? But he was in the first episode. They really kind of focused on him and how he got a new contract. Him and Brady Russell were fighting. Second episode, they make a big deal about him getting too close to Sam on the play, and also just kind of how his fiery temperament, and then they kind of did the whole sob story. Oh, they tell about how he's a preemie and all that stuff, which is cool stuff. But I'm just saying, like, it's all stuff people who follow the team already know. That's more for players outside, or for people outside of the bubble or whatever. But the thing for Derek Hall is just cool to watch him because he runs really hot. He's like a super fiery guy. So what have you guys thought about Derek Hall kind of showing out on the show so far?
Oh, the guy deserves it. He played his ass off last year, and honestly, he's becoming a fan favorite, which I don't know. I think it's pretty easy to do when the team is winning. Seattle was really looking for. I don't know. Let me backtrack. Seattle Seahawks fans really love picking their player. Okay, so there's the casual fan or the person that's like, yeah, go Seahawks. I need my quarterback jersey in blank color. But then there's just so many people that are like, I love cornerbacks. I got to get my cornerback. I'm that guy. I'm trying to get an E-Man Warrior Rivalries jersey to show Nathan how much I'm okay with the Rivalries jersey.
If we didn't win the Super Bowl, everyone east of the Cascades would be bringing up Derek Hall sack numbers ad nauseum until you were sick of hearing about it. That's my only Derek Hall opinion. Because yes, Eric is right. Both good and bad. Every year that we don't do really well, there's one guy who's the problem and one guy who is, being held back by the team. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think my overall Hard Knocks take is that if this wasn't the Seahawks, the only team that I love, I'd be like, this is a boring season. There's like basically no drama, like
they're definitely manufacturing the drama.
Yeah.
This Derek Hall thing, like Mike gets really mad at him, and Mike did something I like to say, which is like he asked nicely the first time, hey, don't get so close to Sam. Then it happened again, and he said it not so nicely, and that's like a Santo thing to say, which is I said it nicely the first time, you didn't listen, so now I had to say it a different way.
Yeah.
In the future, I would like to say it nicely. So can you listen the first time? It did highlight the how important the quarterback is, and how like and it made me really think like, yeah, the whole program falls apart if Sam Darnold like breaks his hand in the training camp. You know what I mean?
How
like
you put that in
we are cooked. Now we're starting Drew Lock. Like I feel so much worse about this team. And you don't realize like how good you think Sam Darnold is until you're faced with the idea that maybe Drew Lock is going to be the starting quarterback, and then you're like, oh yeah, oof, we would be so cooked if that happened. And then they did this whole thing in the episode tonight about Sam Darnold and the spin rate and how he could always spin it and how hard he throws. And I thought that was pretty fun. And they played this stupid Spin Doctor song. And then
oh no. Oh, so I should skip the episode. That's what you're saying.
One of the first songs that I loved as a child. How dare you?
And then
they don't play Two Princes? Okay.
Now where's that to me? Okay, and then another thing too I really liked is the highlighting of Cooper Kupp, just as like a player coach kind of thing. He's in the quarterback meetings, and they say it's your job to take this back to the wide receiver room, and he's in JSN's ear all the time and just showing that like just Cooper Kupp matters a lot in ways that aren't going to show up just on the box score. And I think it's a cool person to highlight because it seems obvious to me now, if it wasn't obvious before, that he is heading to a coaching job. And, as soon as he retires, we'll be the first ones knocking on the door if he wants to stay up here. So that's pretty cool too. Cooper Kupp, future quarterbacks coach or whatever he ends up doing. That's going to be pretty awesome as well. All right, give me one thought from Hard Knocks, and then I'll tell you my favorite thing that I haven't mentioned yet. Go ahead, Brett.
Seeing how players interact with Leonard Williams at practice.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. Leonard is so cool, and then they did this whole thing in this episode about the warrior in the garden, and then they showed him in his garden, and he's getting the plants out and stuff. And I'm just,
I didn't think that I could like him anymore, and they've somehow got me to like him even more. All-time top 3 Seahawk for me for sure.
When he said too that being in the Pacific Northwest just calmed his nervous system, I was like, bro, I can relate to that so much because I often travel and I think like, could I live here? And I'm like, yeah, I could live here. And then like when I come back home, I'm like, no, this is the best place to live. It just like calms me down. So like I totally agree. I love the highlighting of Leonard, and just he's such a big personality, but like in a fun way, not in like a like Derek Hall is really competitive and fiery, and like he's in the guy's face and he's doing too much, and like he's yelling at people and getting in fights with Brady Russell, like. But like, and that's a big personality, and that you need a couple of those guys on your football team or any great team. You need some guy who's going to push everyone like that. They called it in the episode "little brother energy," and I completely agree with that.
Yeah,
like you need like a little brother to kind of push everyone.
Or like in
out
the
of their
first
comfort
episode
zone.
when O'Toole who comes back from the fight with Hart, and then William just like dabs him up. He's like, "Hey, good job." It's like, what a cool thing, for like somebody who was obviously. Seeing his whole career flash before his eyes. He's like, I'm going to get cut. It's terrible. Like, what I do. And Williams is like, yeah, good job, man. I'm just like,
way to keep
what a cool,
at the end of the episode
player.
when everyone's just like, I think it was the end of the first episode, and they're like, oh, we got to see pads.
Yeah, that was so funny. Yeah.
Anyway, what's your thought?
Mine is a little more like, I don't know, the meaningful portion that I really liked, seeing management. So when Nick Emanwari goes into Mike McDonald's office and he's kind of like, yo, I don't want people laughing at me or seeing me on my scooter. That's not what he says, but that's what he says. And Mike McDonald takes a very coach-teacher approach. He says, what do you think I'm going to say? And he's like, I don't know. He's kind of like being honest, but trying to feel him out. And he, without saying like, dude, wheel on your scooter, he says like, here's why, I know you're going to do your best, but here's what I think your best is. And he kind of puts it in there, being with your team at practice. And then he says, I cut out all the noise because what's it going to matter? That's a life lesson for all of us. For me, like it doesn't matter. You hear somebody talks bad about you in 15 seconds, 15 minutes, it's gone. He says the Rex Ryan thing. And there, Emanwari, he kind of changes the tone and he goes, I keep receipts too, which that is an example of coach not trying, but like basically McDonald was kind of telling him, here's what I think about life. Here's my philosophy. And here's something where it meant something to me. And then Emanwari immediately turned it towards himself and was like, I focus in for this reason. And McDonald used that and basically also showed caring, which I appreciate. I thought that was just amazing to see. That and John Schneider, when he was like, yo, Spoon was flipping out last night because Schefter tweeted that.
Oh, yeah.
He's and like, it's like that.
He goes, I called Schefter and I said, you tell his agent that we didn't say that.
That's not coming from us. And that's just little behind the curtain stuff that I like to see because we can guess it. We've talked about it on this podcast, but supposedly Pete Carroll and Schneider got into it because there was a rumor that Schneider yelled at Pete Carroll in the third round of the 2012 draft, was it? And he said, if you do not take Russell Wilson with his third round pick, I'm out for the day. I'm done talking to you.
Yeah.
And then he did it because he kept asking him, hey, you got to get this guy. You got to get this guy.
I do remember that. It's almost like if the the movie Draft Day was any good at all, it would have moments like that. But yeah, I'm with you, Eric. I like that stuff as, somebody who fancies himself very interested at worst in kind of the behind the scenes thing. And then also too, that scene with Eamon Wari, one of the few times that I am okay with being old, where I'm like watching that, I'm like, man, I'm really old, and this guy's not, and I think that's okay.
I like how they edited that scene, by the way, not for a completely different reason, which is like they had the, obviously the camera in the corner or whatever, they're showing them talking, but then when he wheeled out of the room, they hung there, didn't cut at all, and it showed him getting out his phone and then watching videos of his wife and his kid. I thought that was like super cool.
That was fun.
Just capturing like how like, their everyday like people kind of stuff. I got two things then, because you guys didn't hit my other one. One,
I got
just
one more.
go ahead, do yours first then.
Oh no, sorry. I was gonna say on the editing point, my favorite one from the first episode was when Mike McDonald's kid is like, football, and then they go down to Sam Darnold, he's like, football. I was like, yeah, man, football. Absolutely.
You never grow out of it.
No, never.
Two things from me then. Number one, this shadow boxing thing from the second episode just cracked me up. The whole like Coach Mack saying it's rock paper scissors on steroids or whatever, and just talking about it was such like a dude's rock kind of camp vibe hangout thing that I thought it's a really cool way to show that this team bonds in really unconventional ways. It's not and that they really cross position groups and team lines, like because a lot of teams are really insulated from each other in terms of like position groups and offense versus defense and stuff like that, but these guys have found ways to connect across those lines, which I think is super super neat. And then the other one was like them showing these slide decks, just knowing that the Seattle Seahawks also had to sit through an AI generated slide deck and a Mike McDonald with a big arrow and a bunch of catchphrases slide deck. Although I will say the AI generated slide deck, even though I groaned and rolled my eyes because I was like, oh my gosh, the demon got to the Seattle Seahawks too. I will say the presentation of the AI slide deck was extremely good. I was like, wow, he's selling me on this AI slide deck. And that's pretty good, because normally I would just completely disregard anything he had to say from that point forward. But he absolutely crushed the presentation to the point where I was like, all right, well, you know what? Just do better next time. Ask an intern to make you a slide
whoever's
deck.
making those is willing to do 2 or 3 commands instead of 1 to make it slightly less terrible. So I'm with you. It's fine.
All right, time to speed
We're
run.
going to transition to an AI Eric in the next 3 years on this podcast.
That's what Zencaster Pro gets. That we're training the future of Robo Eric. Okay.
Yeah, finally.
Ready to get? We're going to speed run the NFC East here. You guys ready? Here we go. The Cowboys last year, Dallas Cowboys 7-9-1. Their over under is set at 9.5 with under as a pretty heavy -140 favorite. They added Rashawn Gary, D. Winters, Jalen Thompson, and Kobe Durant. They lost Jadeveon Clowney, Dante Fowler Jr., Donovan Wilson, and Jalen Tolbert. In the draft, Malachi Lawrence, Jayshon Barton, and of course, Caleb Downs. Seahawks connections, Dante Fowler and Tank Lawrence both applied their trade for the Dallas Cowboys before coming to your Seattle Seahawks. Eric, how about them Cowboys?
I was born in Irving, Texas, and that is where the Cowboys originally played.
Speaking of Irving, Texas, oh my gosh, Eric!
Here we go. Look at this.
Can I give you something right here?
Of course.
Watching Hard Knocks, the Seahawks practicing on Lake Washington, near the city, and then I see these camp clips from other teams, and they're practicing it. It'd be like if the Seahawks had training camp at Central Washington University.
Well, do you remember when we used to train at Cheney?
I do remember that.
Cheney.
Yeah,
exactly.
I do not forget. I remember, like, I never went, of course, but seeing it on the news, and it was like, are they in a parking lot next to a motel?
Some of them would not pass for middle school football fields in like the South. It's embarrassing.
I can't imagine being another team's player and watching this after you just practiced at like Northwest Missouri State University and being like, yeah, man, that's equal to what we're doing. Seeing these guys at the VMAC with the Blue Angels flying over in Lake Washington. Anyway, you saying like Podunk, Texas, it made me think of that. Anyway, go ahead, Eric.
No, you're right. Okay, so thing is, my parents are both big Cowboy fans, and they never shared that with me, thank God. But I've just grown up hating the Cowboys. Don't like them. Never had a chance to root for them. What is it? And I think that's everyone on this podcast. We don't like the Cowboys, but like everyone on this podcast, including Kevin, I want to say, God rest his soul. What is it about Dak Prescott that we like so much?
He's good.
He's good. Yes, go on. He seems like a good dude.
Sure.
Whenever he doesn't get hurt, the Cowboys make the playoffs.
He's never beat the Seahawks in the. Oh, wait, sorry, he did once.
As long as he spends the season relatively uninjured, the Cowboys are usually pretty good.
Yeah,
and when he's injured, they are absolute dog water. They're so bad.
Dog water.
So you can see the difference with your eyes about how much he affects the team.
That's my thing about Dak Prescott is and the Cowboys for that matter. I don't want to root for them. I'm not going to root for them. But golly gee, something about Dak Prescott, you poor guy. Get your butt to Pittsburgh. Make the people in Cleveland not hate themselves so much. Get out of Dallas. I have the Cowboys at a.
He makes so much money.
He does. He really does.
Doing it this way, he is making so much money. The way he has decided to do this.
I think that this team is on a treadmill right now. They're treading water. They are walking in place. If they win one more or lose one more, that's what it's going to be. I think at best they're going to tease the playoffs, but not make it.
8 wins last time. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's later. Sorry. Do you want me to go, Nathan?
Okay. No, I'll go.
Okay.
The reason they went 7-9-1 last year, even though Dak Prescott was actually healthy the whole season, is because this defense was hurt and not that good. So what did they do? They put a lot of effort into making this defense better. They're bringing in 5 new starters through free agency, all of which I think are actually pretty good football players. They drafted Malachi Lawrence and Caleb Downs. And I'm going to say this. I said it during the draft prep. If you want to fix your defense with one guy, that guy is Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is a leader. He's one of the best. He's one of the best players I've ever scouted from a performance standpoint. And then the personality stuff is all A++++. His brother's in the NFL. He knows what it takes to get here. This guy is it. He is the guy who can fix Dallas's defense by himself, and then he's not going to have to do it by himself because they went and got Rashawn Gary and Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant, Jonathan Ballard, D. Winters. They went and got a bunch of dudes to help him make it better. And then I think Malachi Lawrence is a raw pass rusher, but he is a guy who has a ton of potential and someone who I do really think could be an 8 to 10 sack guy in his rookie year. And so they needed to fix defense. The offense is already good. And so, even though they added Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I don't think that's going to hurt them too much. And so
nice.
Got to get my dig in. So
I don't know. It worked for us.
I appreciate that we hate Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones sucks. He's just sucks. I'm never going to root for the Cowboys to win a Super Bowl, but do I want them to make the playoffs, especially in this particular division? Yeah, I kind of do actually, because these teams are all dog water to me for one reason or another.
Yep.
So I'm
speaking of bad Hard Knocks. That was last year's Hard Knocks.
Brett, what do you got? What do you got for the Cowboys?
Eric, you mentioned the Cowboys treadmill. What if I told you the Cowboys treadmill is eternal? They are right back on it.
I like that.
Like Nathan said, they took a break last year. They had some problems that normally do not befall the Cowboys. They fixed them, so they're right back on track for double-digit wins and getting pantsed in the playoffs because they have a head coach who is not a needle mover at all for the 3rd straight time in 15, 16 years, every time. So I too love the Cowboys. This roster is great. It has a lot of simply great players all across the board. Caleb Downs is awesome, but the Cowboys will forever be maxed out with first game exits in the playoffs. Always. Because they don't hire coaches who move the needle ever.
I tend to agree. I think what's going to happen is they're going to win more games than even I think in the regular season. I have them at 11-6, but I think that they could easily win 13 games in the regular season, and everyone gets their mind into Cowboys are going to do it. This is the year they finally win a playoff game, and then Brian Schottenheimer is bad. So then they're going to be oh yeah, this is the Brian Schottenheimer offense. I know how to stop that. and then they're just going to get destroyed in the playoffs. But I like them to win this division, or at least be really competitive with the other two good teams in the division. So, but yeah, I have them a little step ahead of everyone else right now. All right, New York Football Giants.
Oh wait,
they went 4-13 last year. Their over under is. Oh, Eric, do you want to give us a record for the Cowboys?
Yeah.
I just said tease the playoffs.
I know
11-6. I'm going. You said 11-6. I'll say 10-7.
And I have them at 12 and 5.
Eric's more vibes based than record based. Just we don't.
You know why? Because just like everyone else, I'm right half the time, except my half is from the heart.
Ooh,
there you go. Giants last year went 4-13. Their over under is 7.5. Minus 110, so it's pretty even on both sides. They added Isaiah Likely, Tremaine Edmonds, DJ Reader, Patrick Ricard. They lost Rondell Robinson. They actually added like a million guys, but none of them are needle movers in my opinion. Greg Van Roten, Russell Wilson, Dane Belton. They drafted Francis Magua, Arvell Reese, Colton Hood. Seahawks connections: Drew Lock, Julian Love, Leonard Williams. Obviously, all ex-Giants. Brett.
Whew. Many of the things I feel about the Cowboys because of their coaching hire, I now feel about the Giants. And I'm okay with being wrong, but, I'm not okay with being wrong, but I am okay with being early. And I think this is the shine off of John Harbaugh year, honestly. I don't know what there is to like about this team. I'm just going to be incredibly honest. They probably don't have a quarterback. They probably don't have a running back. Their offensive line is.
Do you want something to like?
Sure.
This is very possibly the best pass rush in football.
Fair enough.
And Arvell Reese is like a flexible Swiss Army knife piece that they're going to move inside and outside. That is honestly pretty terrifying for opposing teams to deal with. They could be
they're the Browns from a couple years ago.
They could be a defensive monster. That's
could
like
be.
I think that's the blueprint. Is like they're a defensive monster who also Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo are able to control the game and like keep the ball on the ground. That's the theory of this New York Giants team.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Matt Nagy's their offensive coordinator. And I'm not like super into. Okay, first of all, the camp reports are not like amazing, and I just get the same vibes I got last year, which is when everyone was like, "Oh, Pete Carroll's going to come in and reset the vibes for Raiders. Pete Carroll's going to come in and reset the vibes for Raiders." And then you know what we learned? Actually, Pete Carroll's like super old, and like it doesn't. It's not always just going to work. And John Harbaugh is 63. And his best years are like definitely behind him. And I don't know, I'm just not sure that he's just going to come in there and like reset the culture and get them into immediately 10 wins. A lot of that, the success they had in Baltimore was not because of just him. It was because they had the best GM in football going from Newsom to DaCosta. Like that was the reason the Baltimore was so good, and John Harbaugh was a good steward of that. They were great underneath him. They won Super Bowls, but like they were not incredible, and I think they never reached the high heights that many of us would have expected them to reach under perennial MVP candidate Lamar Jackson, which is why he is now coaching the Giants. And so for me,
that's fair.
I don't see a reason to be like, oh yeah, he's going to come in now. I looked this up because I look at their offensive line and I think, man, this is a lot of guys who have a ton of potential that have always underperformed. Their offensive line coach is like a guy who makes people. Like he fixes offensive lines. If Jackson Dart can stay healthy, this is probably like a more competitive team than the number I'm about to tell you that I think they're going to win. I just don't think he's going to do it because the camp reports once again are like, teammates and coaches are begging Jackson Dart to slide and he won't do it. And it's like, dude, this guy's going to get his head blown up in like week 3. And then we're going to have Jameis Winston or Brandon Allen as a starting quarterback. He's going to be out there
for that long?
We can't protect the ball. We can't play protect the ball football with Jameis Winston as our quarterback. So yeah, I don't know. I'm skeptical of the whole thing. What do you got, Eric? What do you got for Giants?
you said that we were going to talk Hard Knocks this week. And so I was like, what can I bring to the show? Well, on a slow December day, working from home, I had Hard Knocks on in the background. And I watched all of last year's Hard Knocks because it was just like, what is going on here? Like I need to work, but I can have this on in the background.
Giants off-season. That one.
It was during the whole season. And in the NFC East, there's only one team with its stuff together. It was all the NFC East. And there's only one team in the NFC East that has all their stuff together. Yes. And I'm here to tell you that whatever Harbaugh can bring.
The preseason Hard Knocks last year was the Bills, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing, but I just watched the regular season and was like, oh, this is cool that I can watch a whole division that isn't the AFC North, because they did that too. I'll just say the Giants were like the most.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm not blowing any smoke here. If you'd have put this podcast in charge of the Giants, they would have done the same. Their interim coach was
great, man.
Their interim coach, can't remember what his name was, but he was like, guys, as I leave you here, you head off to the off season, you gave it all. And, I'm an interim coach and, they're going to interview me. And it's just like, is this your rah-rah thing from a guy who's like a substitute teacher? No one cares about you, bro. It's over. I'm just, with that, I'll give you Giants at 5 and whatever number it takes to get to 17, 5 and 12.
I have them repeating last year at 4 and 13, which I think is like super harsh, but I'm not seeing it. I don't have any faith in it. Jackson Dart's going to be hurt and they're going to be bad when he's hurt.
I have them at 6 and 11.
Brett?
6 and 11.
I can't believe that we're like 4, 5, and 6.
I know, right?
The over is 7.5, which is significantly higher than any of us think.
That's sick.
All right. So speaking of over-unders that are not even, here we go. Eagles, 11 and 6 last year. Their over-under is 10.5, but under a heavy favorite at -140. Speaking of bad camp vibes, they added Dontavian Wicks, Jonathan Grenard, Tariq Woolen, and Arnold whatever. They lost Nakobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, Brandon Graham, and Josh Uche. Although Brandon Graham might come back. There's like will he or will he not retire thing going on there. And then they drafted Mekhi Lemon, Eli Stowers, and Markel Bell. I literally Googled, is Brandon Graham still retired? And anyway, Brady Russell came to us via the Eagles. Eric, what do you think about the Eagles?
I think the Eagles are the cream of the crop of this division. And everyone listening is like, duh! But there's no team that can even come close to the Eagles. This team is reloading. This is what they do every other year. And this is partially why I look at the Seahawks as a team that everyone is asking me like, oh, do you think they're going to repeat? I'm like, I don't really know. It doesn't matter. I think they're going to win 3 championships in 5 years. I really believe that about our Seahawks. And does that mean that they're going to win this year? No, they might, but I think they might have a year they're close and then a reload year. They're looking awfully like a reload year this year, but the Eagles are reloaded a little bit. Their quarterback is a guy that is getting a whole lot of flack for winning a Super Bowl. I think he is taking this year personally. I think the Eagles are going to be one of the best teams in the NFC. I'll take your comments off the air.
I think actually they were gearing. The Seahawks were actually gearing up for this year to be the year. I think last year we just got there early, like because we didn't really lose anyone of consequence. Like if you really think about like the program and the guys we built the program around, we didn't build the program around Reek Woolen and Kobe Bryant and Ken Walker. You know what I mean? Like those are guys that were good players, but they weren't the cornerstones. Like they weren't JSN. They weren't Devin Witherspoon. They aren't Sam Darnold. So I think that we're geared up for this year, and we just happened to get there a year early. Although you know what John would say if he heard this, he'd be like, "We're trying to win every game. We want to win. We want to win every week or whatever." But
Christian Michael was our number 1 guy on our draft board.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Eagles is that I can't look at this roster and not think that this is the best roster in this division. The fortunate thing for me in picking against the Eagles is that the games are not played on paper and the vibes of this team are down tremendous. Sean Mannion is the offensive coordinator, and we have seen so many ups and downs with Jalen Hurts and all of these different offensive coordinators. And if you're thinking like Sean Mannion, the guy who played in the preseason for the Seahawks, yeah, that guy, he's like 36 years old. I don't know what I'm not super high on this team in terms of like Nick Sirianni seems like he doesn't totally connect with these guys. And then Vic Fangio is obviously like the mastermind of the modern NFL defense, but he seems like a total piece of work. And they have a ton of talent in this defense, so I'm sure it'll be fine, but oof. And then on offense, they're really trying to turn, 3/4 into AJ Brown here because that's going to be a more significant loss than people are going to realize until we are 5 games into the season, and Jalen Hurts needs to throw a deep ball, and he's got to throw it to 145-pound Devonta Smith. So I love the talent. The talent is there. This is a talented team, but I just think the bad vibes get to them, and in my mind, I have the Cowboys and Eagles switch with you, where I have the Cowboys as like the playoff team and the Eagles as like the fringy, like frisky 7-seed contender. That's like how I feel about the Eagles this year. Brett, how about you?
I don't think I should be allowed to talk about the Eagles because this is going into the 4th year in a row that I have an opportunity to screw it up. And I have screwed it up the last 3 years. I always get this team wrong. And I don't even know what to do anymore because I'm with you. I don't like AJ Brown a lot, but for the Eagles I did because, like you said, what do they have, right? Their offensive line's taken a couple lumps, Steen's not super great. Jason Kelce is mostly missed. And yeah, I don't know what their carousel of coaches accomplishes, but they have been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. So, I mean, obviously something, but it's hard to see how they're
Don't you feel like they kind of fly high when they have a really good OC and then they don't when they have kind of a bad OC, and so that's been the difference maker in like the last couple years or whatever.
Yeah, I just don't know.
So what do you think of Sean Mannion then?
I don't know what to think. Like his head coach is a obnoxious dirtbag that like nobody seems to really like, but it never seems to fall apart. It didn't fall apart with.
What do you think about a guy?
So
what do you think about a guy 5 years younger than me being the offensive coordinator of an NFL football team?
You're not even that old, brother. I don't know. It's yeah.
Spoken like a true old man, Brett.
Okay, I will.
You're a young guy.
I'm the second oldest one here, geezer.
Damn right.
Okay, I'm just going to turn this around to both of you. What do you think the Eagles... Okay, sorry. What is Howie's expectation of the team this year?
Obviously, they think that they're Super Bowl contenders. Look at the roster. You can't look at that roster and not be like, we're Super Bowl contenders. They're Super Bowl contenders. I just think that the vibes will get bad at some point. They'll lose a bunch of games. Jalen Hurts is going to be like shooting eye daggers through all the coaches on the sidelines, and they're going to be 9-8 at the end of the. We're going to turn around, and they're going to have nine wins at the end of the season. And
that's what I wanted to say, but I've said that twice in the last 3 years, and it hasn't happened. So,
but you guys don't think that Jalen Hurts? Like, I feel like this is his redemption tour. I don't know what it is. Something about like. This is just going off again, heart, brother. But just like this guy's mad. This guy's
wasn't them
crapped on.
I'm with him.
Wasn't them winning the division last year, even though the division sucked? But wasn't them winning the division last year at 11-5-1, and then him making the Pro Bowl? Isn't that the redemption? All right, didn't he already have the redemption?
He's a champion, Nathan. It's not what he wants.
I don't know. I feel like that happened kind of last year. Like it was like, and Saquon didn't do anything.
If you say
I feel like the year
before, so I don't know.
Eric, that could be more coaching than. Sorry, Nathan. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just feel like the 1 year Saquon got all the credit, and that pissed him off. And then last year, now Saquon got none of the credit. So like everyone was like, Saquon's washed now.
so, it sucks because Saquon's really good.
Yeah, I don't know if he's washed or not. It's hard to tell. Like I said, this team often flies as high as the offensive coordinator takes them. So, basically to me, if Sean Mannion is him, if he's like a great play caller and hits the ground running and is really good, this team will win like 12 or 13 games. I just don't think that's what's going to happen. That's just there you go. That's me. All right, football team. Washington football team was 5-12 last year. Their over-under this year is 7.5. Over is a slight favorite at -120. They added Adafeowe, Chigakonkwo, Leo Chenal, Rashad White. They lost Debo Samuel, Bobby Wagner, Von Miller, and Preston Smith. In the draft, we got Sonny Styles, Antonio Williams, and Katron Allen, who wasn't like the next pick in the order, but I thought I had to bring him up because, that's Fat Man. Seahawks connection. Seahawks cornerback Noah Igbenogany is a former player for the football team. Brett, start us off.
Sorry, I know we're trying to speed run the East. We did not get our win totals for the Eagles in.
Okay, Eagles quick 9.
9 as well for me.
12.
Nice. All right.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
So then,
now on to the important part of the Commanders.
Commanders?
Yeah. What is the worst case scenario for the Commanders? Their head coach doesn't add any wins to their expected wins, and they can't support their quarterback phenom going into the second year because their defense is old as dirt, and that's exactly what happened. So, I mean, no seat is hotter than Dan Quinn, and rightfully so. Yeah, they need to add a lot more than a bunch of mid-free agents and a very good middle linebacker prospects because their left tackle's hurt, and Stephon Diggs was their big addition to the receiving core, which was already not great because Terry McLaurin's old and the second coming of Tyler Lockett,
I'll be honest,
in terms of impact.
They replaced Debo Samuel straight up with Antonio Williams. I think Antonio Williams is like really underrated prospect from this class, and especially if they want to use him like they use Debo Samuel, that's going to work out super good for them.
That's fair.
That being said, I tend to agree.
Yeah, it's tough to reset again with the success of that Jaden Daniels rookie year so close in the rearview mirror, and so I think that's what they're up against. But they have an ownership group that's not the dirt worst, so that is a good thing for them. So. That's all I got.
The Laramie Tunsil injury is tough for me because I already finished all my picks and my writing and stuff, and then I found out about that, and I just decided to change nothing. So I probably should just siphon off a Washington win to the Eagles and make the Eagles a 10-win team. But I do really think that Jaden Daniels, if healthy, is the kind of guy who can carry you to borderline playoff contention by himself. He's really, 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 really good at football. And so another team where I feel like they'll go kind of as far as the quarterback's health takes them. I just think Jaden Daniels in that first season really did show that he was willing to get out of bounds and not take the goofy hit that knocks him out for a million weeks. So I have more faith that they will stay healthy than the Jackson Dart. This is not they need it. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think as highly of Adafeowe as apparently Washington does. That's not gonna. They need a pass rusher. This team needs a pass rusher, and I don't think the free agents they brought in are going to get the job done. So Leo Chenal is the guy that I think is the sneaky signing. That maybe they see something there that. Because there has always been like sneaky potential in that guy, and maybe he comes in and he's an 8 to 10 sack guy, and that kind of gets them over the hump there. Because that's really the kind of the missing piece on this defense. I think the defense is actually okay, other than that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's a weird roster and a weird team in a really weird situation. The offensive coordinator is once again a problem. They also have like a 34-year-old ex-quarterback as their offensive coordinator, David Blau. Which I don't know if you guys remember David Blau, but he's the guy who was like on the Lions because he was a really cool hang.
Wave of the future.
And then got to start a couple games, and he wasn't even good in college.
I do.
So I don't know. Weird team at all. Weird series of events that led us here. So yeah. All right. Washington Commanders. What, Eric? You got any coherent thoughts on the Commanders?
Oh, there he is.
Eric, to you.
I feel like this team. I honestly just echo. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Nathan's got the robots. Okay, so I echo Nathan's comments on Dan Quinn. He is on the hot seat because I feel like this team could steal this away from Philadelphia. So the division that is, but man, Jaden Daniels isn't the problem. So what is the problem? The talent around him and the leadership. Always blame leadership if things aren't working right. Trust me, I have a job. I know. So I have them at 11 or 12 wins.
Oh, okay.
Very close to the Eagles, but just not close
Yeah.
enough, gents.
I'm going to put you down for 11 because I have the Commanders at 6 wins, and I kind of feel bad about it. I want to like Jaden Daniels led offenses more, and hopefully I will
I'm
get
right
to.
in the middle.
I just think 8? 8 or 9?
14. He's frozen, so
9.
we're just going to keep throwing out numbers. Oh, there is.
That's
Okay.
some linear programming there for Nathan. I know he loves
9.
that. 9. Okay.
All right.
Really breaking rank
There
here.
are many ways to support the Seahawks Nest podcast. The best way to do so, patreon.com/Seahawks Nest for as little as $1.24 a month. Join the Patreon. Be a part of the Discord. Thank you to those who support the show. Andy, 17-0, Tom, Edgar's Double, Carrie, Flocktimus, Brett, Gavin, James, Malcolm, Ryan. I'm a fun guy. Email, Measure, Sam Rockin' the Night Away, Samuel, Chad, Chuck, Andrew, Michelle, David, Mike, Bob, Astro, Foles, Poops, Thomas, Blake, Daniel, Brandon, Nick. Okay. I'm going to list off 10 things that are, this is our movie club. You ready for this? I'm going to list off
Ready.
10 things that I think would be really hard to do in sports, and you guys are going to rank them from most to least impossible. Okay, you guys ready? Here's the list.
For us
Get
or
a
for
hit
like an
off of-
average?
Okay.
I think it's for the
All right,
average
yes.
athlete.
All right, here we go. Here's the rules. This is for you. You have 1
Okay,
week
great.
to train.
Okay, thank you. Great.
For
All right.
each event. You have 1
All
week
right.
to train. You're still not
All
going
right,
to do
go.
any of these, but
Go.
actually there's one that I think you might be able to do if you
That's
had a
why
week to
I
train.
asked,
All right.
dude.
Get a hit
Go.
off of Jacob Misiorowski. Return a serve from Yannick Sinner. Save a penalty shot from Connor McDavid.
Oh my God.
Save a penalty shot from Lionel Messi. Cover JSN on one route. Beat
Okay.
Lewis Hamilton in an F1 race for 1 lap. Block Leonard Williams for 1 rep. Beat Luke Littler in darts. Bowl a 300. Kick a 600 or six. Sorry, kick a 60-yard field goal.
Can I make?
And I posted these in the chat.
chat.
I posted these in the chat, so you can look at them.
I'm reading.
We got. What do you got?
I want to sub. Kick a 60-yard field goal for kick a 60-year-old guy in the nuts, and watch the movie 300.
Okay.
Can I watch the movie 300 instead of bowling 300?
I know all of these are varying levels of like you're never doing it, but I want to go. Let's start with the easiest one. What do you guys think's the easiest one?
For me, bowling at 300 because I've done it in practice, so not skipping lanes. So
All right.
The
Eric,
hardest one for Kevin would be watching 300. And he'll back
it
me
is-
up on that.
Are you
It is
okay with
terrible
bowl at
movie.
300 being the one we list as the easiest, Eric?
No.
No, you don't think?
I started listening to you before you put it in there, and I got to be honest with you. I started getting cocky.
Oh God, I don't want to hear this. do I?
Unathletic Eric with a knee that needs to be replaced and a really bad ankle injury this year. I was like, I got a week to train. Batting practice. I could get a hit off Misiorowski.
There's
Okay.
no way, dude. I
There's no way, dude.
actually-
I'm sorry.
I actually think that's the second hardest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say.
Okay.
It's
What
a
about the easiest one? If you put me in hockey pads,
Yes.
do I have to
agree.
be on skates?
yeah,
Do I
I was
have to
gonna
be on
say.
skates? Because I feel
think-
like
I think both penalties might be the two easiest ones because on the soccer one, there's a chance that the guy just doesn't kick it on the target, right? And then on the hockey one, if you wear all the pads, you got a lot of gear. You can at least cover up a significant portion of the goal. Maybe they screw up. Like those. I think those two are the two
Yeah.
easiest ones.
I'm with you.
Am I nuts?
I'm with you. The harder. No. I think you're right there. Plus, two, I'm not going to feel bad if either of those two players score on me. Like, my expectations are already low. That's fine. And yeah, it's like you said, right? Like, I take up a lot of space. I'll just sprawl wildly across the net and, hope for the best. It's fine.
I can't believe you. I like how Eric thinks he can hit a 104 mile an hour fastball. Like, that guy will just gas you on.
With a week to train, I think I got a chance.
I think you'd be lucky to get the bat on the ball.
Really the same difference.
But
a blind man can land a punch if he sees it in his mind's eye.
Okay,
you have to box Mike Tyson for 10. No, not Mike Tyson.
No, I would. If I think hardest would be take a hit from Mike Tyson in the stomach.
Do you see Mr. Beast did that?
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I still don't respect you, but no thanks.
I'm not advocating for Eric's obviously insane opinion about the hitting, but I do think that that's easier than covering JSN because that's just literally not going to happen for
I agree. I think covering JSN is
the hardest.
The hardest.
I do too.
I agree. Okay.
I do too.
We're in agreement on that.
The darts might be easier. I think.
Okay.
At age 26, I honestly would have taken Block Leonard Williams for 1 rep.
I know what you mean.
You got pancake, but it's got him in the middle, right? Like it's possible you're big. We're all big people. Everyone in this podcast is 6'3" or taller. So I think it's more reasonable than a lot of these. I don't think it's possible, but it's more reasonable than a lot of these.
That's where I'm going. I'm not trying to say that I'm gonna hit a fastball off Jacob Mizorowski. No, I am. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna call him up. Arrange this. Brett, call my people.
What's easier, beating the guy in darts or kicking a 60-yard field goal?
Oh man, I saw all these videos on like just amateurs kicking field goals. This was years ago, and then I had an opportunity just to kick one that was open at at a stadium tour. It's darts. It's darts. I can't do it.
Yeah, dude, it's impossible.
I thought I can lift my leg high. I got the meat hooks of my legs. I can carry this through. And I thought my leg had detached from my body. I was like, no, I can't do this.
I consider myself reasonably athletic for having no formal training and being morbidly obese and old. But that being said, every single time I go to the high school football field with my 2 kids, I never want to kick a football ever again. And this is from a 20-yard field goal. Yeah, I've made one, but I'm like, no human can kick a ball further than that. It's literally impossible. And it's from 20 yards away.
Right.
It is the worst feeling ever.
I've hit a 35 before, but I don't think, but I think farther than that would start to be pretty tough. But I think with a week to practice, that's probably my unreasonable one that I think I could maybe start to get close to. Is that
I think it's good. Do you get professional coaching?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think you could.
All right. Okay. We're down to 3. These 3 need to be put in order. I think all 3 of these are basically impossible, but let's get a hit. Okay. Return a serve from Yannick Sinner, who's the 2nd highest serve rating on the PTA, but also just the best player, and beat Lewis Hamilton in an F1 car for 1 lap.
I actually think getting a hit is the easiest one of these.
Okay, I can dig it.
I wonder too, because when you look at the serves, they're in a wheelhouse. It's not like on the serve I got to run all the way to the other side.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. I mean, a tennis racket is bigger than a baseball bat.
Thank you.
Eric is right.
Are we saying F1 is a little bit F1 or JSN? Both are.
I just think
okay, JSN's the hardest. 2nd hardest and maybe most hardest is fitting any one of us in an F1 car.
Yeah,
so touche.
And also JSN might just slip. You don't know. That F1 car ain't slipping.
And I think too is that I don't even think I could drive an F1 car in once there's a certain speed we hit, I'm just gonna be like, oh, that's too fast for me.
Yeah,
I won't be able to go. I'll be too scared. I'll be too nervous. I'll just be freaking out. I'll be like that's the limit of my ability to drive an F1 car. I think the F1 one is sneakily maybe the most hard.
I couldn't operate the car, but I could try and put hands on JSN. My brain understands that process. Whereas the car, I got nothing, man. I drive your 2009 Honda Fit, dude. I don't know nothing about no F1 car. Yeah. Yeah, this was fun. Did you think I was going to say the Leonard Williams one or the Bowl of 300, Nate?
I thought you were going to say you could block Leonard Williams, but I put it on there specifically so you could say that and I could make fun of you, but you didn't.
Well, honestly,
you didn't fall for the debate.
Out of all of these, though, if the bowling one wasn't there, I would say for me personally, that's the only one where I'm like, well, if I ever had a puncher's chance, because the other ones are just impossible. So
yeah, I think for me, like I feel like I could get lucky on the save a penalty ones. You know what I mean? Like those are the ones I feel like would be the easiest to get. They're you could beat it without skill. You just get lucky and it happens. I feel like everything under that, there's some level of skill or strength you have to have. There's no luck, like way you could just luck sack your way into it. And I think that's why, for me, those penalty ones got to be the first two. But then after that, you could probably convince me of almost any order, except for I do think Bowl of 300 should be next. Because it's just something.
Also, Lionel Messi, there's no way. Like,
I don't know.
If he sees me in the net, he's just going to grin.
I don't know, man. He's missed before.
Yeah,
he missed the biggest stage. Yeah,
he missed 2 penalties in this last World Cup. Like,
so this is a great opportunity to ask this. Do you think I could find like the fringiest NFL training camp body who's making content and be like, look, man, I'll sign the waiver. Just like, let me try and block you. It'll be like hilarious because I just want to know what it's like. I'm sure it would suck.
Hey,
I would get put in the dirt.
After watching 2 episodes of Hard Knocks, I think if you could get in touch with Derek Hall, he might do it for you. He tried to wrestle Leonard Williams in the thing, and I was like, what are you doing? What did you guys think of sledgehammers, by the way? The sledgehammer thing? Where they guys
that was fun. I liked how into it everybody was. Like they were going hard.
This is how we settle a dispute. We hold 2 sledgehammers as long as we can. Man, dudes rock. All right. Anyway, for Brett, for Eric, for the Ghost Kevin, we'll see y'all next week. Go Hawks.